Girl Sews, my name's Sarah. Thanks for joining me today for another edition of Friday Sews. It is Friday the 17th of October, which for me is the end of my first half term for this academic year. I'm working today and tomorrow, and then I've got a few little bits of work over the 2 weeks off, but it's going to be loads quieter. So I'm hoping to get lots of stuff done around the house, catch up with a few people, and also get lots of sewing done, hopefully. So this week I finished a few bits and bobs. I have taken pictures of some of my makes. I have made the anniversary shirt that I'm gifting to my husband for our wedding anniversary next week. And I'm just going to update you on those things, really. So first up, one of the garments that I finished a little while ago is another Cinnamon Daisy willow dress. I know I go on about this pattern a lot, but it's just a pattern that I really love and that I feel fits and suits me and my needs and my wants. And it's definitely become my sort of safety dress that I come back to if I just want something that I know I can make up quite quickly and feel good in, and the fit will work for me and everything. So this is a nice autumnal version, his picture of it on me. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. I raised the neckline at the back. Quite a few of the versions I've made are not suitable for a lot of day-to-day wear for work and things because the back is too low. Or they're very summery fabric, so I can wear them in the summer but not now. Or two of them are ball gowns. So I worked out the other day, I've made 8 willows in total. Two of those are gowns. I'd say most of them are quite summery, so I wanted one that was a bit more suitable for this season. Raised the back neckline, which was very easy. I just sort of drew it where I wanted to on the pattern piece. Double checked that my head would still fit through the hole, and that was that. So I'm really pleased with this. Wore it for work yesterday, and yeah, I know I'm like a broken record with the willow, but it's just a pattern that I really love and enjoy making, and I feel really good in. So that was that, which was great. I also finished my Mirko puffer vest, which is a Cashmerette Club pattern. Now, for Cashmerette this week, they released a new strapless dress pattern, which is worth going and having a look at. I believe this is to be paired. It's been designed to be paired with the strapless bra, the Sims bra. I think I need to order a kit for that one. I always find with bra making, it's one of those things that would be so good for me to do because I find shopping for bras a pain in the backside. But it's just getting all the different bits and making sure they're the right bits, like getting the underwires to be the right size. All of this stuff always throws me off. So I think I might buy a kit. But anyway, they've released this dress, which I believe is their 100th pattern. And it also was released on the 10-year anniversary of Cashmerette being set up. So I made a little vlog about that, which I will link below if you want to go and check it out. I just go through the Cashmerette things I've made. But yes, the latest one was this Mirko puffer vest, they call it. So it's like a gilet. And I have my version here, but actually I'll just put a picture up of it. It was really fun to put together. The main adaptation that I made was changing it to have a zip front rather than poppers. I just find poppers difficult to put in, and also I find like if you have lots of layers, sometimes they don't like pop properly or whatever, so I just prefer a zip. It does slightly change the order of construction. I spoke about this in my last week's video, but I managed to complete it without too much faff. I think I've put a lot of zips in now, so I'm fairly confident with like how to put a zip in without instructions. I think if you are less confident with putting a zip in, it's probably a bit faffy because you don't have the instructions there to do it, and also it's just a little bit fiddly if you're not sure what you're doing. But because I've done a few zips, it was fine. And I'm really pleased with the finished garment. I think the fit's nice. I think the finishing is good. I really enjoyed the process of making it, even though there were moments that were a bit faffy. Mainly doing the pockets, the welt pockets with the puffer fabric. But also I made my life a bit more difficult with this pattern because I picked a pre-quilted fabric, which is quite possible, and I think a lot of people have done it, but it does just mean you have to think a bit more carefully in places, and it's just a bit more bulky, because then it was advised when I searched on the Cashmerette Club like board, message board things, that you still line it even though the pre-quilted fabric is already sort of lined. And I'm glad I've done that. I think if I can get this out without wrecking everything, I can show you a bit more of the inside. So here is the jacket. You can see I've mixed which sides. I actually think this is supposed to be the right side and this might be supposed to be the wrong side. And I say that based on where the spare threads were, but I prefer the matte side. So I did a little mix of both sides. And then on the inside, I have the satin that I originally wanted to line the whole thing with, just for the collar, just because it was a bit too drapey. And then I've just got black cotton on the inside. Used bias binding for the what's it called, armholes, and yeah, and there's my little zip. Feel quite pleased with that, to be honest. So yeah, I'm there were moments when I was making this where I was thinking, oh, why have I challenged myself? But I'm actually really pleased. I have something that I've always previously struggled to buy in shops. It's got a particularly cute design and the fit is nice, and that's definitely going to see me through a few autumn and winters. And I've also finally decided what I'm going to do with the remainder of the fabric. So one thing I will say with cashmere, and I've said this before and I will say it again, is they tend, in my experience, to overestimate how much fabric you need. So I generally, with any pattern, I normally ignore the layout they give and I do my own pattern Tetris, because I just have found that that tends to be a more efficient way of doing it. And I often have loads of fabric left over when I am doing cashmere patterns. And so I bought this puffer fabric, which is lovely, but I have a load left over and I don't think it's enough to make a whole jacket. And I wasn't really sure what to do with it. I don't think I need another gilet. And then I came across this pattern when I was cleaning out some of my pattern drawers, which is the Noodlehead Oxbow tote. And I thought this would make a really cute tote bag. So I also, if you look at this option, the sample, this is puffed fabric. So I'm thinking I'm going to make a nice overnight bag. I don't actually really have a good sized overnight bag. I end up normally taking a couple of smaller bags with me. So it's going to be the bow puffer fabric, and then I'm going to use black webbing, and then I'm going to use gold hardware. And I think it's actually going to be really nice. So I'm excited about that, because I was just sort of thinking, oh, it's just going to sit there and it's sort of too nice to just sit there, but I don't know what to do with it. And this actually seems like the perfect way to use up that quilted fabric. And then I can have my gilet and my matching bag. I mean, who does she think she is? I'm very excited about it. So yes, I'm waiting. I've put some stuff in my basket at Jenny Stitches, where I normally get a lot of my bag making supplies. And I'm just waiting for the black webbing to come back in stock. And then I'm going to get all of that delivered, and then I'll make the bag at some point in the next month or so. But I'm really pleased about that. It just feels like the perfect, and I didn't even have to buy the pattern because I already had it. Great. So yes, so that's where I'm at with those. And then Nathan's anniversary shirt. So I've spoken about this before, but in case you didn't know, it is mine and Nathan's wedding anniversary next week. We'll have been married for 2 years. And the sort of theme for a 2-year anniversary is cotton. So I decided to take like an African waxed cotton that Nathan bought me back from a work trip earlier in the year. He's been to Zambia, Zimbabwe and Nigeria. I think this one was from Nigeria. And make him a shirt. So I'll give you a little flash. There'll be proper pictures eventually when I've given it to him. But this is the shirt. It's a Simplicity pattern. I can never remember the number, so I'll put the number below. I've made him this shirt a few times, but I'm really chuffed actually with how it's come out. And the pattern matching is quite good. I know it probably looks a bit wonky. I'll see if I can show you on here. But so this stripe thing, do you see it doesn't line up? Like they're sort of at an angle, and then we've got the same thing here, and I'm really chuffed with how that's turned out. And I'm going to get the name of the person who suggested this because it was such a good idea. One of my lovely viewers suggested covered buttons because I couldn't decide which buttons to use, and so we have covered buttons, and I am so thrilled with how they look. I'm really, really pleased. So, yes, I will put a proper thank you and the username of the person who suggested that below, because it was a great idea, and it meant I actually used I have a covered button kit that I'd never used, and I actually used it, and it was so easy and fun, and now I want to cover buttons for everything. It has some that are in there that are like this big, so I was thinking, oh, do I need a coat with enormous covered buttons? But I would have to hand stitch the buttonholes because my machine couldn't do them that big. But anyway, that's the shirt, and I'm really pleased with it. So our wedding anniversary is on Tuesday. We have a sort of mini celebration this weekend because we discussed trying to start a tradition. We didn't do it last year because we were away for our wedding anniversary. But we had a really beautiful wedding cake at our wedding. I'll put a picture here. It was by a lovely lady called Dawn, based in the northeast of the UK. She's called the Master Cakesmith. Made us this beautiful cake, like the wedding cake of my dreams. And she does these taster boxes. So we got one previously when we were picking the flavours for our cake. But she does these sort of monthly sample boxes you can order. And so we sort of decided that for an anniversary thing, we're going to order a sample box each year and have a little like afternoon tea and watch some of our wedding videos. Nathan's still not watched. I think he's watched a couple of them, but he's not watched like the ceremony one, I don't think. So yeah, so we're going to do that on Saturday, and then on Tuesday we are going out for dinner. So nothing crazy. But yeah, it should be really, really nice. So I will give him the shirt on Tuesday, and I'm really pleased with how that's turned out. Next up, so I've sort of finished off a few projects now, so I'm going to be starting afresh. So I have my Cashmere Canton moto jacket pieces all cut out. From talking to other people, I think this is going to be one of those projects that I dip in and out of. So this is a Minerva brand ambassador project. I'm making it in this faux leather, like a grey faux leather. And I got some nice sort of brassy hardware and an exclusive, one of their exclusive prints for a lining fabric. Can't get this back up on there now. But yeah, I think it's going to be quite tricky. So I suspect what I'm going to do is do bits of it and then have some simpler things on the go as well, just so I don't go crazy. I did cut out a pyjama set this week. So I mentioned that last week, this lovely celestial cotton jersey from Jenny Stitches, which is still in stock if you want some. And I cut out True Bias Hudson's, which are my favourite PJ bottoms, and a cropped version of the Elba Textiles Sage Tee, which is like a men's t-shirt pattern. So yes, so I think that's going to be my sort of easier project. Now, the other sort of complication of this week was last week in Friday Sews, I discussed my Care Bear patch and whether I was going to put it on a teal sweatshirting or a sort of soft sagey green type sweatshirting. And the reason I'm really thrown off is because, so on the YouTube video, I showed it on video, and I think all but one comment on that video said put it on the light green. And then I took some close-up photos on the background, which I posted on Instagram and on YouTube. And for the pictures, it very heavily leaned the other way. So I'm pretty sure that it's because the colours look different in the pictures. The pictures were quite close up versus on the video. So now I don't know what to do. I'm leaning towards, even though I think everyone on Instagram will be fuming, I'm leaning towards doing it on the lighter green and then making some tracksuit trousers in the petrol colour with some like colour blocking in the lighter green. So they won't like match because I think I want the sweater to all be one colour. But they will pair together kind of nicely if I choose to wear them together. Part of the reason for this is that the petrol jersey or the teal jersey is a heavier weight. So I think I think both of them could work for trackies, but I think the like darker colour will work better. And also because of the colour, I think I'll just be less stressed because then you're not worried about the dog getting gunk all over if she comes and rests her head on my knee or sort of just sitting on something. And I don't really wear a lot of light colours on the bottom half because I'm just messy and I get stressed about it. At least if I spill stuff down my front, I know about it pretty soon. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm leaning towards making the light green with the Care Bear. And then making tracky trousers with a dash of green stripe maybe or something out of the darker fabric. I know from the pictures that might be quite unpopular, but from the video, everyone else was sort of with me on that, in that sense. So that's where I'm at right now, but I'm too scared to cut it out in case I change my mind. So I'm going to get started, I think, on the Moto jacket. And yeah, then I'll sort of see. So the Moto jacket, I'm hoping that over the next 2-3 weeks, I'll be able to just show you progress each week. I'm not expecting to get it finished in a week. Because I think there are a lot of technical challenges. The lovely Prayer has made a few versions of this, and she said it's one of the really challenging patterns that she's made. I think also partly because if you use a leather-like fabric, you sort of can't really unpick, so you've got to be really, really careful. There are also lots of zips and things like that. So, and it changes pressing and all of those things. So I think it is going to be a challenge, but I'm hoping I'm going to end up with something really nice at the end of it. So yeah, so that's what I've got planned for this week. I hope you have some nice things planned. I don't know if other people, because some people obviously work jobs where you don't get half term. Other places only get 1 week of half term, which I think wouldn't be this week, it'll be next week. So yeah, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope that you're well and having a good time, and getting lots of sewing done. And I will look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.